The Warrior Angels Foundation was created and is run by combat veterans to help other vets suffering from traumatic brain injuries, TBI. We are joined by the CEO and COO of this, Adam Marr, and his older brother, Andrew Marr. First of all, gentlemen, thank you so much for your service, and we mean that from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, sir.
This is, you hear so much about PTSD. You don't hear near as much about traumatic brain injuries.
Right.
Let me start with you. You are suffering from this and a severe piece of it. First of all, tell people what you did for a living for those years.
Yeah, I was Special Forces Green Beret. I was an engineer, which had me working with explosives. So I was in and around countless explosions through the entirety of my career.
You actually went indoors. That was part of your job.
Right, yeah. As a breacher, I was responsible for putting explosive charges on denied points of entry and then getting a safe distance away from that. We'd blow it, then go in and do our job.
How long did you do that?
Just under 9 years.
All right. When did you realize, I'm assuming after you got home, when did you realize there's something wrong with me?
Well, it was after my last appointment. It was about 4 or 5 months, and my life started to slowly spiral out of control. And one day I woke up, found myself on 13 different medications. I was alcoholic. My wife was 9 months pregnant, and her request of me was if I could just keep my drinking down for the day in case she went into labor and I had to drive her to the hospital. You know, that was where we realized, hey, what they're offering up for the treatment modalities is not working because it's predicated on psychotherapy and medication, which was just making my life worse and my family's life.
There has to be something else out there, and there wasn't at the time.
Correct.
There is now. Adam, as a younger brother, you saw him go through this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It was incredibly difficult because Andrew's my older brother of 2 years. Our careers kind of paralleled themselves.
You were a helicopter pilot?
I was a helicopter pilot, and then so all of a sudden he got back from his last appointment, and suddenly he's, you know, at the pinnacle of success. Now he's down in the trenches of despair. And I'm asking myself, how does someone like this completely become a different person, a shell of who they were, and battling all the myriad
and you don't
ailments.
see any physical trauma, right?
No,
so
absolutely.
Like, hey, man,
normal.
snap out of
like,
it. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, and I'm assuming before you ever went off to war that just looking at the two of you, you were physical, athletic specimens, and you were used to seeing that in him.
Sure. Yeah, definitely. And then to see him struggle on the way home from work, having to stop and buy alcohol just so he can quell the oncoming anxiety, panic, memory loss, loss of libido, and that's impacting he's got 5 children and a wife, and that's impacting their direct lives.
And that's not to mention the suicide rate, which is out of control with veterans.
Right. Yeah, so that's how it happens.
You start to romanticize it. Because
there's nothing, you can't see any physical trauma, right? You are now doing things you don't want to do. There's behavior coming from you that you're not understanding why it's happening. And all you're getting is medication, and you're trying to add to that with alcohol. That's the cycle, the vicious cycle that spirals to suicide.
We have such a huge military population at home right now, and I'm sure there's some people out there right now go, whoa, 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 that's me. That's happening. Yeah. So a year ago, January, you guys decided to do, well, probably before then, but it actually came to fruition.
We were still active duty, and Andrew was still getting his treatment, and even in that fog, he is the kind of person that says, hey, I have so many friends, so many brothers going through this. We need to do something. We need to help. And that was why we founded Warrior Angels Foundation.
So tell us about it. What does it do? What does it offer?
Well, we want to treat the underlying condition for traumatic brain injury and post-traumatic stress. Okay, so again, medication, psychotherapy, that's a Band-Aid. That's just trying to cover up what's going on with symptoms. So if we can get to the underlying condition, and we can fix the problem. We do that through an objective blood test, and we can figure out that these important chemicals that are produced in the brain called neurosteroids, they become deficient or insufficient with head trauma. Well, that's responsible for making us who we are, everything about that. So when those start to go in decline, that's when quality of life starts to decline. Conversely, if we can identify it, interdict it, replenish the natural levels, people get better 100 out of 100 times.
You sound like you're through this, but are you? Are you through it? Or are you still dealing with it?
He still deals with some stuff, but I got to tell you, like, you look at him sitting here in front of you today, the way he can talk. A year and a half ago, it was like talking about. his parts of his brain were turned off.
Yeah.
His eyes were glossed over, and so he was a portion of who he is today. So by bringing those levels back up, we can heal this.
So it's called the Warrior Angels Foundation.
Yes, sir.
This isn't free. This costs a lot of money. You need donations for this, right?
It's true. You can go to www.waftbi.org, and from there you can get information. You can sign up for the treatment, and we run 100% on donations.
Yeah, but we are infinitely less expensive than what the government is doing to pay for TBI and post-traumatic stress care. The Congressional Budget Office put out a report in 2012, almost $15,000 of what it costs to treat a veteran.
Wow.
And that's for medication psychotherapy. Yeah. For $5,000, we can fix the underlying condition and improve your life.
And we've done it to over 120 veterans
absolutely.
so far.
Adam, Andrew, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your service, but thank you for this after your service.
Yeah,
this is amazing
work
you're doing.
It's our pleasure.
Well, we have so much more coming up. You're watching Good Morning San Diego. We're back with more Memorial Day services when we return.